sports. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. The human drama of athletic competition. This is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Brought to you by Lincoln Mercury. Nobody has more kinds of cars or more kinds of people. See them at the sign of the cat. By Goodyear, makers of the custom Steel Guard radial tire. And by State Farm Mutual. Almost anywhere you live, there's a State Farm agent nearby. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Well, good afternoon, good people. Mark Holmes here. As always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great day. I'm having a wonderful one here as it's Sunday afternoon, and we are having, of course, our members call-in live stream, and hopefully we don't have any problems like my buddy Game Time Brian. I got to get on the phone with him and try and figure out what the hell's going on with his system. I hope everybody likes that little intro. So many of you guys are older like I am and remember when ABC's Wild World of Sports came on Saturdays about this time, and that would be where you got all of your sports fix. And watching Micah Parsons and all the things that he does, it's kind of like ABC's Wild World of Sports. So hopefully people enjoy that. I'm going to try and be a little bit creative in things here. So without further ado, let me say hello to Stacy Schubert, Roland's Review, First Lady in the house, and of course, there's the shit starter and Twiz Digga, who calls me Frito Holmes, aka from Philly 500, and Curtis is in the house, along with Chris May. And let me get to my panel here. We got people already in the house. What's up, gentlemen? Chris May is the first one up on the screen there. How's everybody doing today?
Excellent.
Excellent?
I'm doing excellent today. I'm always doing excellent when I make pizzas.
Cowboy fan that's excellent? That's something we haven't had too much of this off-season here.
I haven't seen him, yeah.
So why are we doing excellent? That's what I want to know. I want to hear good news.
Because it makes me feel good when I make people in my neighborhood pizzas, you know what I mean? And to see their smile.
Pizzas? How do we get to feeling awesome at pizzas?
I don't know, man. That's all I know how to do is
now
cook.
You're making me hungry.
Football.
Wait a minute. So you're cooking pizzas for everybody in the neighborhood?
I'll just say you're somewhat.
Yeah, pretty much. I get to it. Takes a while.
I move into your neighborhood? Because my wife just yelled upstairs, "What are we doing for dinner today?" It's like, oh God, that's one of those things. It's like, I don't know, honey.
I wish I could air mail one.
It's like, what do you want for dinner? She's like, I don't know. It's like, oh, here we go again. Here we go. So it's always so hard to figure out what to have for dinner. Okay, but pizza sounds really good. Is it you got like an outdoor pizza oven or?
No, just do it in the house.
Okay.
To make many different types. It's kind of cool.
All right.
I don't know.
Well, everybody, if you're hungry, go to Chris May's house and have some pizza. So here's my question. We had Eric Kendricks. Eric Kendricks did his first kind of interview with the Cowboys and things. And
Hush, baby girl.
Hush, baby girl. What?
That's me. Yep.
I'm like, what the hell? I keep hearing in my ear.
I'm petting,
Hush, baby girl.
I'm petting my little kitty here. My son brought him in.
And my question was, are the Cowboys more physical? And I hear, here, little kitty. I'm like, what? I guess you're trying to say we're not more physical. But Eric Kendricks basically said the reason why he came to the Cowboys versus the San Francisco 49ers was because he thought he was going to have more of an opportunity because, of course, the Cowboys had a bigger need and, of course, having Mike Zimmer. And my question is, looking at how the Cowboys have drafted with the offensive lineman, with the linebacker, with the edge rusher, and, of course, bringing Eric Kendrick, where Jerry Jones said, was asked about a culture issue, and he said stopping the run and running the football, if that's a culture issue, then yes, we have one. have the Cowboys tried to address those two problems and moving away from being known as a soft team when it comes to playoffs to now being more
I think
physical?
they have, because given what I saw with their draft, and after seeing the highlight tape of Eric Kendricks from his linebacker play in Chargers, I think that they've addressed those needs, but it's still a question mark. How is this all going to unfold? Because we know about Mike Zimmer. He was here before 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We know what Cincinnati and Minnesota is the same physicality that he had in Minnesota with the defenses he made there going to come here.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to bring it.
Oh, yeah.
He'll bring it. Mike Zimmer's not one to hold back anything. So he's going to bring it. There's no doubt.
It
Dan
definitely
Quinn
needs to be.
Yeah, Dan Quinn, on the other hand, seeing what he had last year, he didn't really have. He I guess he was a little soft on the defense last year. We just did not attack it like we were normally used to when Dan Quinn first came here. But now you got Mike Zimmer, who's not afraid. He's not going to hold anything back.
The $1 million question is, are the players going to buy into what he's trying to do? That's the $1 million question. If they do, it'll work. If they don't, we know all that work. We had Nolan when we had players saying that, we couldn't, that you don't always give 99%, and our defense was too complex and all this, so that's the $1 million question.
Zim's one, he doesn't make it so complex. I don't think he makes it as complex as, say, what Dan
Mike Nolan.
Quinn.
Well, actually, Mike Nolan, that was the problem.
Nolan
was too hard.
He was notorious for making things. He was notorious for making things.
We got Acme John. Mark, what's the plan after Dak? Lance could work out. Yeah, well, it could work out, but the fact that he's getting musical numbers and being disrespected by what number he gets, I mean, literally, he had to give up his number for Zeke. That should kind of show you what the pecking order is right there with him. Not keeping the fifth-year option open. Maybe he does work out. I don't know. Brad Harris in the house. Acme, let's see. Twiz Digga. What's up, Twiz? I see you're in the house, the shit starter. Little Dallas Cowboys, of course, who's a troll. Mark Sacrifices Chickens, another troll. Vinny, what's up, Vinny? Marcus Blackman. It's amazing to me how sick some of the world is. That, when it's good news, nobody wants to hear good news. They always want to hear bad news. Or that people enjoy hating more than actually being like real people, normal people.
Right.
That people will spend so much time and energy and effort just hating. That's kind of crazy. But I'm not mad. Here's the thing, because people, it's funny because Eagle fans and the trolls and all those people, they actually think they hurt you by coming in and telling you you're an idiot. But part of the reason why I've got 116,000 subscribers and that plaque back there is because of the people that hate me that watch you. So let me say I appreciate you guys that are hating. Keep commenting. Keep telling me how stupid I am. I love it. All right, so back to our regular broadcast. I see Derek J's back in the house. He got his new computer, so I know he's getting ready to get back into business. I see Joe DeMasi. Looks like he's in his car and all that. And we got Troy Daniels. Who else we got in the house right now? I guess that's everybody right now. All right, so are we going to be soft and melt when it comes to getting punched in the face? Because to me, every team that came through that could run the football, they literally punched us in the face and we could not respond. I think that maybe it was the fatal flaw of Dan Quinn's defense, or the Cowboys didn't give him all the personnel that he wanted to go with that defense. Thoughts? Right. And what would be the next thing to do? I think Dan Quinn
just liked to do a lot of zone and was more focused on stopping the pass and wasn't really geared towards stopping the run all that much. Whereas Mike Zimmer, it looked like he's a lot more stout. All his defenses had a pretty stout front, which is geared towards stopping the run. So that might be a difference maker.
Okay.
I can't wait to see what Zim employs now that we have some beef up front. Mazy and the guy we just drafted, Rogers, I think his name is.
Yeah, Justin Rogers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those three might.
The million dollar question is, how good will Mazy be in the system? And this is one of the things that I was like, I can't believe that one of the journalists out there that's not in his mama's basement said the same thing that I said. Mike Fisher today was talking about maybe the Cowboys should sign, I don't know, Calais Campbell for some depth.
I don't think Claus is the answer. I really don't.
I would not mind having Calais
I'm going to say right now,
my only question is his age.
If you wanted Hankins here, and that's where I hope Game Time joins, if you wanted Hankins here, you would definitely want Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell will be 7 years old, but keep in mind he had 6.5 sacks last year, that he had 32 solo tackles, and I believe 50 total tackles.
And he'd be cheap.
And he
Jones
is
would
a
love
veteran who you can put into rotation. And that was only with 60% of the plays. I'm not suggesting that he's the Calais Campbell that I wanted in 2016 and said, go get that guy.
That's when we should have got him.
Or a couple of years ago. But having him and having a veteran presence as opposed to what we have right now, sorry, you get him for about $2-3 million to come in with the leadership skills that he has, the attitude. To me, that would be an incredible ad because, the Cowboys always add those veterans. And I look at it like this. I mean, they brought in a Don Terry Poe. They brought in a Gerald McCoy. Guys who were injured, that were injured coming off of the season before and things like that. Calais Campbell still had a really good season last year. 6.5 sacks,
see Dallas
third on our team last season.
Yeah, I suppose Dallas could bring him in, but would he be a 1-year rental, or could they get him for 2 years?
Probably.
Oh, he would. Probably he's at the point of he might retire.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it would be for 1 year. And I know Eagle fans will laugh at me and stuff like that, but there's Primetime. What's up, Primetime? But see, at this point in his career, he's been NFL Man of the Year. He's made tons of money and stuff. You're looking and saying, is there a shot for me to go to a Super Bowl? And I'm not saying that the Cowboys are the best location to do that, but if you say Atlanta or Dallas, Atlanta's left the door open for him, you might have a better shot with the Cowboys, but I could be wrong. If nothing else, you'll definitely get more publicity in Dallas than you will than Atlanta.
Yeah.
True.
Now, the Cowboys, of course, will add some more players because we're still thin on the defensive front. It'll be basically mostly a two defensive linemen. So, you got Mazy. I'm happy that they're basically saying, go eat. Forget the diet and all that. Go eat.
Have that Texas
get
barbecue.
About 340, 350. You're going to be the guy in the middle that we just need you to be like a big turd in the toilet. We want you to clog that mother humper up.
Be the big guy that plugs it the hole.
That's it. We got to get a snake to get that thing out of there. Okay, a water jet or something. We need you just to clog up the middle. And then having an Eric Kendrick who basically says, I want to come to Cowboys instead of San Francisco because I want to play. And, I think we may be a little bit more physical. I'm still worried about the
between him and Maurice, I think linebacker will probably set.
Mavis LaFile.
Mm-hmm.
LaFile, yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely we'll be more physical. The question will it be enough to be able to hold up? And I almost even look at it and say, with the offensive lineman that we got, that was to counter the Eagles' front. Jordan Davis is a big load. Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith and those guys, that they want to be real physical and be able to just kind of demoralize them. Anybody worried about running game?
I'm not.
No.
Heck, we were talking about it on Brian's channel. I personally think it's going to be running back by committee this year.
It was last year.
Zeke's not the same guy. I mean,
Well, it was last
It's going to be
offensive
Rico
line,
Dowdle's going to get a lot of the carries.
because we're younger, but the
I don't think Rico's going to get them all. I think he's probably going to be injured this year if he gets them all.
Oh, I don't think he'll get them all. I think he'll split with Zeke, though.
And I think last year, the problem was more the offensive line and not the running backs. So
Yeah,
right.
if we improve on the offensive line, we'll be better.
We definitely improved on the offensive line. Okay.
We're definitely going to have the physicality on both lines this year. I'm telling you, that's what's been missing for a while. Is the physicality. If you can't run the ball, you can't dictate the game. If you can't stop the run, they can do the same to you. So it's been our problem.
I said
every
it
playoff game when we saw it in 3 games last year with Buffalo. Arizona was the first team to do it to us. Then Buffalo took that playbook, and look what happened. We went right in there, and Green Bay did the same darn thing. You know, so
Well, San Francisco too.
you got to get the linebackers in there anyway, and I put that on the management there. You got to have the linebackers. You can't have a 230-pound guy taking run blows every time. I mean, I watched the guy did a good job. You know, that was playing his position, but man, you see him just get pushed back like nothing. And you can't keep doing that every, go around. You got to have something to stop it. So I think they are going to be physical.
Somebody said Beetlejuice.
Yeah, he was safety. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's
I said it on. I was going to say I said it on Brian's channel too.
Did I say Beetlejuice? I don't think I did.
If you can do the running back by committee this year, they don't know what to stop. The team does not know what to stop. Do you try and stop focus on Zeke? Do you focus on Dowdle? Do you focus on Vaughn? Do you focus on whoever else is in the house? They don't know who to go, who to prepare for.
Right.
Right.
Well,
God.
here's the thing. Here is the thing that is kind of interesting to me, because I went back through and looked at Mike McCarthy's days of being head coach of the Green Bay Packers. Running the football was never really that big of a thing. The amazing thing was when they ran the ball the worst, they won the most. They only had, now check this out, Eddie Lacy in 2013 had 1,178 yards. They averaged actually 4.7 yards a carry. You'd say, okay, that's great. That's a great job running the football. But they were 8-7. 8-7-1, right? Let me see. Another year that they get monster year on the ground. Let's see. Ty Montgomery had 457. Willis. Eric Lacy. Yeah, he actually only had 2 years. Eddie Lacy the next year, they were 4.4 yards a carry. He got 1,139 yards. They were 12-4. But those were the only 2 seasons that they had a 1,000-yard running back the whole time he was with Green Bay. Most of the years, Brandon Jackson, the Super Bowl year, 703 yards. The next year, Ryan Grant, 559 yards. These are the leading rushers on the team. 2012, Alex Green, 464 yards. And every one of those years, you had 10-6, 15-1, 11-5. They were winning more when they were running the ball less. It sounds crazy, but every year that they ran the ball really efficiently, 4+ yards per carry, were down years for them. So when you looked at what we did last year with Tony Pollard and crew, that's typically how Green Bay's running attack goes, or 1,600 yards. So the question is, when people say, well, they should have went out and got Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's not a great pass catcher. Acme Jones, well, here's the thing, Acme. The year they won the Super Bowl, it was 31 TDs and 11 interceptions by Aaron Rodgers early in his career. And it was a great defense. Their defense was second in the NFL. So, and when you looked at how that that offense was constructed, they ended up having Greg Jennings as the big wide receiver for him. They had Aaron Jones. They had, Randall Cobb, I think, was part of that. And I'm missing Jordy Nelson.
Jordy Nelson was the big one.
Right. Well, but Jordy was real young when I think he was a rookie that year. But they had 4 really good receivers that they could go to. Greg Jennings got the lion's share. I think he was like 1,200 yards receiving. And they had great tight ends.
I was going to say they had a monster tight end that year too.
I can't remember their names, but that's how their offense was playing keep away, distributing the ball all over the field. It wasn't about one guy and the running game. And so that, I think, may be the case here. So I'm not saying that Zeke Elliott is the best option, that you wouldn't want to have somebody who's got fresher legs in there, but they seem to be using more running back by committee than anything else. And I am literally mystified at the moment because I think it's been at least 2 or 3 minutes and he's been here and hasn't said a damn thing.
Hey, Taylor, hey, you? Hey, Francis. Hey, man, how you doing? Okay, how you doing? Fine, man, just fine. Hey, dig it. We two-timers, man. We gonna get out of here, boy. I'm gonna see you in the hospital. We gonna get a high. Yes, sir.
What's up?
Is that Leo coming in?
You know,
Game time. I've been here. I just haven't said a word because I'm just listening right now.
Listen.
And that seems to be a thing.
I've been getting a lot of shit from you Eagle fans. And see, Leo, you're going to get some of my venom today, man, okay? Because you're the target.
I'm all for it.
You're the target that's right there. I get it. Like you said, over the last 20 years, you guys have been more relevant than the Cowboys and everything else. But this arrogance that you guys have coming off what should be a disappointing season, more disappointing than what our Cowboys did, because all the shit that everybody is talking about the Dallas Cowboys, that Jerry Jones is too damn old, too damn cheap, ain't doing shit to try and build a team. The reason we are here right now today is because 3 years ago we got in here because we were all mad as hell because we said Jerry Jones doesn't care about winning. We're not doing shit in free agency. We suck and we just are tired of it. On the other hand, it's the Eagles that always seem to be the media darlings. The Eagles, they've surpassed the Cowboys. The Eagles, Howie Roseman, GM of the year. The Eagles, great draft and everything else. Eagles, Super Bowl, front runner. And you guys crashed and burned and literally went face first in a pile of horse shit, and some of you guys were probably chewing on it. So how the hell do you guys feel that you guys are up here and have room to talk against this Dallas Cowboys? You were ass. There we go. And Joe?
One second.
Oh, look, he's like, I gotta go get my reserve.
He gotta go get his stuff.
Hey, I'm here, everybody.
Lord.
Okay. I had a couple Zoom updates, Chris May. So maybe that was it.
The Zoom updates. I don't know that mine's ever updated. Maybe that's why mine isn't fucked up.
Well, listen, Mark, I am fine until I go to do a Zoom call.
Real quick, hey, Mark.
Hold on. Wait. No, you can't interrupt my man game time. Hold on.
Oh, no, I just wanted you to say hi to my this is my son.
Your son.
This is Blank.
There he is.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Go Birds.
Hey, son, let me tell you, man. Choose your own path. Choose your own path, man. Don't necessarily follow along with that crap your dad's be talking to you, okay? Choose your own team.
He gone.
All right. I don't want to be on that shit. All right, so game time.
I saw your YouTube channel.
You see my YouTube channel? Did. So you're the one.
Yeah.
You're the one of 16,000?
Hey, my man, guess what? You're live on my YouTube channel. So you're on my
live,
YouTube channel, man.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, really.
CD.
Look, CD. I don't recommend telling your friends at school, that you're on a Dallas Cowboys YouTube channel because that might be deadly.
No, it's fine.
I don't want him to get beat up in school. What? Screw the Cowboys.
Actually, this kid earned his brown belt, and he's got a really good record in competitive martial arts.
He's doing
I could do sparring.
Yeah, he spars. Yeah,
you can spar.
Right, so if your dad gets out of line, can you kick it for me?
I fight.
If your dad gets out of line, can you kick it for me?
All right, going upstairs.
You're the best.
Okay.
Around.
All right.
See you, everybody.
Hey, thanks for being on here.
Yeah.
All right, so Brian, let me get
sorry
you
about that.
quick. Let me get
No, it's all good.
We'll come back
I'm trying to get this Zoom call worked out, Mark, but I had updates on. I updated my OBS, Chris May. I did do that. I had 2 Zoom updates, so maybe that was it.
Okay.
It's the only thing I could think of, because I just want to apologize. I'm really trying to get this Zoom call, but Mark, every time I try, it just goes from poor then good to poor then good.
So it must be you hosting it somehow, because you're on a Zoom call right now.
You're doing fine right now.
I know. But so I'm saying it has something to do with if it's my signal going through the OBS.
You know what?
I don't know.
I know what it is. It's because you're in Eagle Land and everything up there is trash.
It's just very upsetting because
What?
I mean, it is green.
You got Leo going now, Mark.
Oh, boy. Oh, I'm fired up now because, see, you got to understand, Leo, I've been getting more shit from Eagle fans. I'm getting emails from Eagle fans first thing in the morning that talking about my fat ass and they can't wait to see me cry and they own me and this, that, and the other. I go on Dan Salio's
Yeah, I don't know
show.
what that's about. If you guys saw this, it's really disgusting.
Oh, it's okay. Don't give it because
I'm not saying anything specific, but then I'm just one of all the Eagle fans saying he's basically saying he's speaking for all the Eagle fans. If you saw some of the vile things that are said in these emails, it's disgusting. What are we talking about here, man? It's
over football too. Yeah,
It's
over
football.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm a bit lost. I'm speaking for all the Eagles fans.
No. Mark's
there's
getting these
assholes in the world.
emails that are ridiculous. Horrific. I'm Leo. I mean, it's bad. It's like everything.
But game time, come on. Game time.
This same guy, you put a video out on me a year and a half ago, put my street address out there, Leo.
Okay, that's over the line.
Put my kid's name, had a map of my neighborhood. Now he was dumb enough that, he had my brother who passed away 20-some years ago's name, but that's besides the point. This is going too far, man. Yeah. I'm not saying it's an Eagle fan. It may be somebody who has a grudge that's just throwing that out there to throw shade. Who the hell knows? But people, lighten up. Okay?
I think me, you and Mark. Well, no, I think it was me and Mark and Troy and Loyal and Derek. I think we were talking about one weekend. We were talking about how you got to be careful because we don't know. I said hurt people, and you do gotta be careful
I know that.
about the kind of people that's out
Miss
there.
Hot Sauce.
I'm sure you dealt with it. I'm sure you've dealt with some sort of.
Oh,
you
listen,
know what I mean?
I didn't realize that the San Francisco 49ers were as hurt about losing.
Oh, they were
the NFC Championship game
it's
to
bad.
us.
Yes, it's bad.
It completely went over my head because I was too focused on the fact that we had lost the Super Bowl. So I didn't think about like what it meant for 49er fans until like after the Super Bowl, the whole offseason. And next thing I know, they were coming for me. And I mean, they was calling me bitch ass niggas. Just like I was like, what the whoa.
I live in the Bay. They're ruthless. They're the worst.
Yeah, and I was like, wait. When did this happen? And then
I don't get this, man. I don't get
it.
I want to win,
typical Eagles fan, I started responding in kind.
Listen, that's how we roll, right? I'm not an Eagle fan, but I live here. I don't have a very long fuse.
For real.
Right.
When I was at the draft, you saw that. I mean, I'm minding my business.
I want to say this in response to Mark's venom.
Oh shit. Okay.
Mark's like a snake ready to strike.
Well,
yeah, like hey Troy, you heard how he said, Leo, you gonna get this venom. You know what I'm saying?
Look, you're the one that comes in here, bro. It's nothing personal. We're trying to run a business here.
But I'll say this. This is one of the things that I find to be very interesting is when, especially like listening to Mark, it's like you're trying to convince us of something that you half-heartedly believe yourselves. You see what I'm saying? And I think the problem is that you're more angry that you're in this place when you threw out all kinds of warnings for the last couple of years. Get Dak signed. Get this person signed. Do this. Do that. Like if like and you know it's like if they actually would have listened to you, half the problems that the Cowboys have now you wouldn't have.
Yeah, but
so
I'm not a journalist.
I think that's
and
a
I'm
bit
in my
frustrating
mama's basement.
on your part. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mark.
I said, but I'm not a journalist, and I broadcast from my mama's basement. So why would anybody listen to me?
Right. And your mom's panties. Remember that part too. In your mom's underwear.
They just hating, Mark. They just hating.
But I tell you what was funny though, is Dan Saleo literally will trash, Jalen Hurts and trash the moves they made and everything else until Philly 500 came in on there, and then they tag teamed me, and I was just like, wait a minute here, what the hell's going on?
Did you hear his QB rating, Mark?
His what?
Dan Saleo is culturally insensitive and tone deaf. Doesn't really hear himself. You know what I'm saying? And the problem is
he's not even an Eagle fan.
Yeah, he's not an Eagles fan. And
he's not.
He does not have a handler. Like he does not have somebody there whose word that he trusts to hold him in, to rein him in a bit. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And so
because he goes quickly.
Yeah,
I mean, he'll be going, all right, Eagles, and he'll be like, oh, okay, and and all of a sudden, Jalen sucks. And they're trading, June 1st cut is going to be C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And I'm like, whoa, where's all this coming from? I like him. He's entertaining.
I'm thinking but game time, I'm on the same page as you. I'm just
he goes way over. I'm like, dude, what happened? What? You just said it's like things to shock you, right. I guess. It's and the Eagles fans go nuts. Maybe it's genius, but
game time. The last time I brought this up, you were here, but you weren't in your chair when I brought this up, and I kept telling Mark and the guys that you would back me up on this. But would you please explain to the group here how in market in Philly they are still suffering from PTSD over the Terrell Owens situation?
Oh, absolutely.
It's bad, Mark. It's really, really bad. I know you didn't. I know y'all was laughing at me when I was bringing it up and I was telling you.
It's true because I'll tell you why. It was, and Leo could tell you that I would say it was his first game played. It was. I don't know if it was first game, but I remember Halloween, right? T.O. went nuts. It was like either Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football. T.O. was perfect for the town of Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Now, as we know, he later came to the Cowboys, and he's out there. You have to coddle him. Donovan McNabb gets more venom to this day because of the T.O. breakup. And I'll guarantee you 80% of the people are going to line up on T.O.'s side because T.O., he's T.O. You just got to know. T.O. would have played great under Jimmy Johnson because he knew how to handle guys like T.O.
I feel that
but
100%.
Yeah, he's right. It was ridiculous how bad it got. Now, just real quick, and then I'll let Leo talk. Me, after all the success we had in the early 90s, right? Mm-hmm. When the Eagles were finally getting their success, I kind of sat back and I was like, who am I to crap on the Eagles? They're finally getting the success that we have seen, at least on some level. And I was able to wait. I was able to wait and say, okay, well, we got ours. Well, shit, it's been 29 years. Enough's enough with the Eagles' success. It's time for the Cowboys to get back. I just had to say that. But, when the Eagles won their Super Bowl, I was actually happy. After the game, I had people that I know, my family members, are no longer here, died with a smile on their face. So that was good. But all this extra shit is over the line. It's over the line.
To your
Lighten
point,
up,
Brian.
people.
Yeah. That was something that a lot of people were thinking about the folks who were no longer here when we won that Super Bowl, and also the folks who finally got to see it before they actually left this place.
And that's why when you have a lot of the younger trolls who want to troll us Cowboy fans, I get it. We haven't won in a long time. Trust me, we know. But again, it's like you aren't the ones. I'm not speaking to you. I'm talking about these young the kids who, we got it. It's like, slow down, bro. You don't know what you don't know. All the heartache, the years of winning nothing for the Eagles. You should be appreciative. You don't need to shit on me.
No. Oh.
What the hell is that?
I don't know.
See,
that was sitting on top of it.
What I will say
Troy, you got to mute, buddy.
Let me say this much. To the point of Brian's thing about the Eagles, okay?
My bad, sorry.
I was at that Super Bowl
Good.
when
You're
you
good,
guys won, and I don't know if you guys can see this picture right here. Okay, let's see. There was
It's a little,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm sitting on the stairway, aisleway, and this couple that have been season ticket holders since 1973 have been Eagle fans all their lives, are there at that game, and they are rising and falling with everything. Now they're cussing them out and everything else, and and in the end they were slobbering all each other. It was like, get a room. But I felt good for them because they had been fans since 1972.
It was good to say,
because you're a good person. There's nothing wrong with.
We won 5 Super Bowls during that time that they were waiting, as fans.
It's almost, I feel guilty. It's like, dude, you're entitled to win a friggin' Super Bowl. Enjoy it. But now it's like, all right, just back off, please.
The thing is you're not entitled to win that Super Bowl. Remain humble.
Exactly. That's it.
That's it.
And and this goes back to when Mark, and I'm not trying to get off the beaten path, but he went to, like a few years ago, he went to the Hall of Fame, right? And he went to Drew Pearson's, I guess it was a party, and
after party.
Nobody was there, right? And it was like, how soon did we forget, okay, why we're here, what made Dallas so special in our hearts? Obviously not in Eagles' hearts. They hate Dallas. I get it. But, it's the young people have no clue. They don't know what they don't know, and it's frustrating, but it is what it is, man.
That's true. And
be humble. Be humble. Maybe you'll get another one. If humble, that's just how I roll. Maybe if you're humble, unless you're sending emails to people, you're talking about their wives and how fat you are and this and that, maybe be humble. Maybe you will be gifted another Super Bowl. And that's just the way it is. That's how I roll. I would hope that other people would take that. But
my point wasn't, Leo, wasn't to actually, you've, on the other hand, you are not one of the typical loudmouth Eagle fans that are all in your face, like you just won the Super Bowl. And I was just saying that you were the closest one that was here for me to kind of, jump on. Because, believe me, we don't have anything to cheer about. Although, when I look at it.
Not much.
But no, actually, you know what, Brian? With us being handicapped the way we are, when you look at the last 3 off seasons, what we have done in the off season, it's basically been signing free agents that are undervalued, unknown, and it's the draft. How the hell we win 12 games 3 years in a row? I still don't know.
I know.
You sit here, you look. Just think about San Francisco.
Go ahead, angry cowboy.
Think about San Francisco getting Trent Williams. This is what San Francisco's done the last 4 years. They got Trent Williams. They got Christian McCaffrey. They end up drafting, of course, Brandon Ayuk. They go out and they get Hargrave. Okay, who else am I missing that they brought into the fold?
Randy Gregory,
Chase Young,
Randy Gregory.
They've made all of these kinds of moves, and what have the Cowboys done to add?
Trent Williams.
I said Trent Williams. Yeah, that was first one.
Okay, sorry.
But you see all those guys that they've added.
Samuel.
Yeah, and what did the Cowboys do in that same time? Would you like to name?
That's why they're so upset, Leo. Is because they added all that, and what has it gotten them? Nothing.
And
There's
they know
no
they got the Super Bowl hangover coming,
and they haven't won. They haven't won in longer than us. Nobody talks about it.
Again,
you know what? Yeah, that's actually true. And the thing is that I've maintained this from the rip, and most of you guys know, I've always been one of those people that I'm like, I just want to see activity. I want to see. I want to see. Okay, and I'll give you an example. Jerry Jones said, "We're all in," right? And
Jerry Jones
you look at the actions of what the organization has done, and in my opinion, it doesn't really reflect all in, or at least what I would think all in is. Howie Roseman.
But here's the thing, though. Okay, Leo, to your point, though.
Wait a minute, Mark. Let me finish this.
Okay.
Howie Roseman says we're coming into this offseason with a chip. We have a chip on our shoulders, right? And when you look at the activities that have taken place from when he said that to now, to me, it's indicative of an organization that has a chip on their shoulders, and they're doing something to address it. Again, and I pretext everything.
Brad Harris.
Shout out to Brad.
Everything that I said by saying, I don't know if this is going to work or not. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say is I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the activity. You're doing whatever it is that you think that you need to do in order to try to win, whether it's a combination of a nice balance between bringing in free agents and drafting. You know what I'm saying? Just like you guys, we're actually good at developing an offensive lineman, just like the Cowboys are. You know what I'm saying? We're
probably
just
better
as good.
now.
When you think about Jeff Stoutland and the way that they bring guys up, you know what I'm saying? You know, so there's all these different things. Now, Mark, you always asking about, you always preferencing what happened or referencing last year. And I'm always saying that what happened last year, that was not because we were devoid of talent.
No.
That had something to do with coaching. And I don't know what, and we will not really know everything until we at least get at least one off season in, and then you'll start to the little anecdotes about the season will start to come up and everything like that. But that was, last year was horrible, and the way these guys are conducting themselves as of today, it looks like that was a lesson learned, and it looks and seems like they're doing whatever it is that they feel like they need to do to correct that. And that's all I ask for. What I can't do, what I can't stand is just standing still and and not really doing anything. That part,
I hear what you're saying on that. But now here's what I will say to counter this. If I look at my team and I say we are great when we have a lead, our problem is we get punched in the face with a running game and we fold. And the talking heads out there said, oh, my God, how can the Cowboys let go, these starters, Dante Fowler and Dorrance Armstrong and things like that, right? As Doc Walker used to say, if I lose with you, I can lose without you. And so if you're looking and saying, let's bring back the same guys who couldn't stop the run 3 years running now, then how is that making a difference? So you see the difference now. They realize we got a problem at linebacker. We got a problem at linebacker. Us going to a safety and trying to fill in is not doing us. Us getting Anthony Barr on one leg didn't do it. Leighton Vander Esch, we knew that he was a hit away from always being in there.
Yeah.
So you go out and you get a guy like Eric Kendrick. Now, granted, he is older, but he knows the system. He knows the coach. He can mentor. And I dare say he's better than Leighton Vander Esch was last year when he was healthy. If he makes it through 17 games, you're already ahead of the game. You draft a run-stopping linebacker. You get an Overshown coming back. So when you look and say, we had a problem when playoffs came in because we got a safety who's playing linebacker. Now, we've addressed that. We've actually got a group of linebackers that we can go. We even bring back Damian Wilson, who's a veteran as well. So we got veterans, we got young guys and things. But we won't be going to a safety this year, right?
Yeah, they switched him back, didn't they?
When you look at the offensive line, Tyron Smith had to be wrapped up in bubble wrap every week in practice. And he literally played on average the last 4 years, 7.5 games a season. So you said you had a center who literally would end up in Dak Prescott's lap. When he's facing a physical defensive lineman, he gets pushed back. You let him go. And, of course, you let go of starting offensive lineman, and you let go of starting offensive tackle that you don't know from week to week if he's going to play.
Right.
And you went out and said, let's get 2 physical guys to go in there. They're going to be young. It's going to be a learning curve, but you have the potential to be better on your offensive line than it was. That's 2 of the biggest problems that you had. Now, running game, they haven't really addressed yet. But here's where it could be interesting to your point of all in. You know how in the movies they always say, wait, before they fire? Wait. Well, Captain, we're in firing range. Wait. Wait. Okay, wait. Right? Could it be that now the Cowboys have locked in these 4 compensatory picks, that they start looking to make some moves now that the prices come down, a Stephon Gilmore, a Brandon Cooks type move to get yourself a running back? Right?
Okay.
And let's say, hypothetically, they go through and they say, because they always hire veterans that people look at and say, that guy's a bum. Nobody was excited when we signed Malik Hooker. Malik Hooker, right? Yeah. But he has been playing. This is his 4th year now as a free agent that we signed for $890,000 the first year. Yeah. And he's playing. He's top 10 in pass coverage and 4th in run stopping. And I dare say that's been as good or better than any of the D-backs that your team has signed with big contracts. Right or wrong?
Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. So what if the Cowboys end up adding and trading a 5th round pick and get a decent running back to go with this? And as I pointed out, only 2 years Mike McCarthy had a 1,000-yard running back in Green Bay. Only 2 years. And the years that he ran the most were the years that they actually lost the most.
Absolutely. Yep.
So what if they do make some of these minor trades and they end up getting the running back? What if they say, you know what, we're going to get a guy like a Calais Campbell who's 37 but still had 6.5 sacks and 30 some odd tackles last year and get him in the rotation on the defensive line?
Yeah.
Okay, you already have a defensive backfield that was pretty good, and you add Diggs back to that, and I don't know that Stephon Gilmore isn't coming back. You've now done something with your linebackers, and you have Micah Parsons. You potentially have at least as good a defensive front, but you also have some young guys like a Sam Williams that haven't been able to get out on the field that may end up being good too.
Yeah.
And so you can look at this from the standpoint of saying that, oh, well, they didn't get free agents, so they're not all in and they're not doing things. But how many times have we seen free agents that have been ass? The Jets in Washington over the last 5 years have spent more money than anybody else. And what have they done with free agents?
Well, Mark, I could almost go with that if it weren't for the problem that I had. Is that there are other things that haven't happened that sort of kind of put you in the position that you got to do this, i.e. sign Dak Prescott, because you've got a lot of money that has to go to the QB.
But see, here's the thing, though. But hold on. What if the plan is, because you might be better off just taking that big hit this year. Yeah. Okay? You might be better off, and then next year when you do the contract, you're only dealing with $40 million as opposed to $95 million.
Correct. Hey, listen. The fact that you have the fact that you are in this position in the first place, that's the problem.
Okay, well that's that's money.
The
problem.
fact that you got to a point where you have to choose between taking this $50-something million hit versus this year versus taking a $95 million hit next year. The fact that you're there is the problem. All right. Remember last week I was telling you, look at the guys, look at what when you look at Philadelphia and what how he's been able to do. Mm-hmm. From a core standpoint, we have guys that are sold up all the way through 2028.
Yeah.
And if you look at who these guys say that again?
Have you still looked at how your cap situation looks for
Yeah.
Again.
Okay.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Once you talk about doing extension upon extension upon extension, you can manipulate that cap. The fact of the matter is that, and how he has been doing that. You know what I'm saying?
He has been doing
I get what it looks like
at
today.
Some point those bills come due. And see, that's where the Cowboys.
Exactly.
See, here's the thing. With the Cowboys, what they have been doing every year, Part of the reason why we still had dead money on Zeke Elliott or Tyron Smith or Dak Prescott is we signed Dak Prescott to a contract and immediately restructured it to get more money that single year.
Yep.
Okay? We would normally, as soon as the season is about to start, we would restructure D-Law, Tyron Smith, Dak Prescott, and whoever receiver. We would do that every single year. This year, the only restructuring they did was Dak Prescott's and Zach Martin's. We didn't do all of the other ones that we did. Now, granted, it's sexy when you hear that the Eagles are bringing in this player and that player and that player and all that. But the Cowboys literally have done a reset on their money situation this year. If they sign Dak or don't sign Dak, at least come next year, they're in a better position than they are this year to take all these hits right now. Zeke Elliott's dead money will be gone. Dak Prescott, this $55 million, it'll only leave $40 then next year that they can work with if they want to sign him. You've got $100 million for next year and 4 compensatory picks to work with next year. And the Eagles have like $8 million next year to work with at the current time.
And then you have, excluding Dak Prescott, you have 27 more free agencies to deal with next year.
But that's the Cowboys every year.
And I can't even Angry Cowboy, I can't even begin to empathize with that right now.
That's every year for us.
Only because look how he was able to extend AJ, when he didn't really have to. But because you see how the wide receiver market is exploding, you know what? Due diligence says not only do you sew up Devontae, but let's get AJ sold up at least for another couple years. And you know what?
Here's going to be the problem.
Let us solidify that O-line and get Jordan Mailata paid. Get Landon.
Yeah, but Leo, you got to look at.
But Leo, go ahead, Troy.
Like Marcus said, those bills are going to come due eventually. Oh, yeah. When do you do it?
Okay, but you also, but see, what you also have to incorporate is the fact that when those bills come up, how much will the salary cap rise by then?
Yeah.
And how will you be able to move?
Here's the deal, though.
You still can manipulate that, bruh.
Yeah,
but for how long? That's the
how we listen, Troy. As much as I hate to say this, it is coming in 2025 for the Eagles, but Howie is just better than Stephen Jones when it comes to handling the salary cap. Now, getting back to Angry Cowboys fan, he does make a solid statement, but I just want to remind everybody that 40% of NFL rosters, every NFL roster is turned over every year. Mm-hmm. So if you think about that number, 40%, that's about right. Dallas, just remember this, Angry Cowboys fan, in my opinion, if Dallas wants to keep a player, they ain't going anywhere.
Yeah. Right.
We talked about a lot of this, me and my partner Primetime Phil, about who we really wanted to keep this year. And we came up with 3 guys: the long snapper, Jonathan Hankins, and Stephon Gilmore. I didn't want to keep Armstrong for $15 million a year.
No.
You could so really when you take a step back, us Cowboy fans could just relax because we didn't lose anybody. Everybody wants to quote Pro Football Focus, right? Me personally, I don't like Pro Football Focus, but we can't say how good it is on one hand, and then when I show a stat that says Mazy Smith was more productive last year per Pro Football Focus than a Jonathan Hankins, how can I poo-poo that if everything else they do is golden, right? Everybody wants to say Pro Football Focus. Hankins was good, but he wasn't Hankins of old. So is that a loss? Of course it's a loss, but we're not done yet. And that's all I could say. But I just think that we didn't lose that many people. I don't know what everybody's so broken up about. If we bring back CD, okay, Dak isn't going anywhere, at least for this year, right?
Right.
Well, neither is CD.
Yo, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark, can I ask you a question real quick?
Angry. Of course you can ask me a question, man.
In one of your last videos, you said that you were headed to Vermont.
Yes. A week from
Where will
tomorrow.
you be heading?
Burlington, somewhere around Burlington, New York, Vermont.
around Burlington. All right, I'm
Yeah.
2.5 hours from Burlington. I might see if I can come up, shoot up there and meet you.
Yeah, we're gonna be.
Wow.
There's a. I'm a volunteer.
That's cool.
A lead volunteer coordinator. So what we have is Fannie Mae has. They get their employees and stuff together. They end up getting money together, and they end up doing community rebuilds. We've done 2 in Puerto Rico, and this one is actually in Vermont. It's basically a small town that's between these 2 mountain ranges, and they got this bad rains in June last year that literally flooded out the village. You know, it was in the news for a couple of days, but there's still people. This is the thing people don't understand. When there's a hurricane or a disaster, you hear about it for a week or 2 and all that, and you think, okay, everything's done. But sometimes it takes years for the places to be rebuilt.
Yeah,
that's where we'll be up there with these volunteers and the money from Fannie Mae to be able to help put some people back in their homes and stuff. So that's where we'll be. So me and my beautiful bride will be driving up on Monday, and I think we're going to be there until
It's beautiful in Vermont, man. It really is.
Tuesday, I think, or Wednesday.
Well, thank you for your service, Mark.
No problem. Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's another thing. You know, everybody likes to crap on Mark, but all he does is help people. Okay, I don't know what the jealousy is. I don't know what the hate is. I could care less, man. If Leo he seems like a nice guy, I would give the shirt off on my back for him. If that, you know, I don't understand why they hate.
Give him a cowboy shirt.
Well, I just don't understand. I mean, he may wear it to do yard work, maybe, and then burn it, but he may wear it for a little bit. But, you know, the bottom line is, you know, life's too short to be that rude to people. Listen, man, when I see the emails that Mark, he'll screenshot it. It's really disgusting. Now, I do have a few, but nothing like that.
Oh, you'll
that
be getting
ridiculous,
them, bro. You'll
man.
be getting them. You'll probably be getting them from my guy.
Well, I get a lot of, you know, you're Mark Holmes. I thought you were different. You know, you're just, you're sucking from the same teat as Mark and all this shit. I'm like, dude, just get a life. Leave me alone.
Well, sometimes if you, the worst, a lot of times, the worst thing that you can do is actually acknowledge it.
That you get.
Like
I try
when
not
you're saying
to.
something good or saying something
Appreciate it,
bad. It's the actual acknowledging, because that's empowering in of itself.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's tough to do.
Do you know what I'll do, Leo?
Acknowledge.
Like, I'll say, thank you for your comment. I appreciate it. Disagree, but thank you for leaving me a comment. And I'll just leave it at that. I try not to go have a back and forth, but Vermont's beautiful this time of year. I would say now and the fall is the best time of year to go. So
especially when the leaves.
Yeah. You don't want to go there, nowhere near there in the winter.
Don't come here in February.
You don't want to go nowhere near there in the winter.
Yeah.
We used to say that here in Utah. Don't come here during the winter. If you don't like the snow, stay
Utah
away.
is supposedly beautiful. So
Utah looks like a Bob Ross painting. Everywhere you look, there's mountains all the way around.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, everywhere you see those snow caps.
Wow.
The leaves changing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh! You know, between Utah and Vermont, either place, if you want to see fall in action, beautiful both places.
Oh yeah, we definitely get bombarded here in Vermont, boy.
I can imagine.
I went to preparatory school in Western Massachusetts, and so I know how picturesque that whole area can be. Mark, you're in for a treat as far as that drive goes.
It's an easy
that you'll
drive.
be able to see. I'm happy you and your wife, you get to experience that with the missus. You guys are going to love, you know what I'm saying, the drive. It's very, very picturesque, especially once you get up, you know, cross past Jersey and everything like that into, you know, upstate New York. You're in God's country as far as like the way it looks. Looks like something out of a painting or something. So it's dope. It's really, really dope. So I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
What we eating, Angry? What we eating, Angry? I saw that. Did y'all see that? What we got? What we eating, Angry?
She brought in the stir fry.
That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing.
Let me answer something for Linda real quick.
That ain't nothing. When I was on the airplane coming back home from Los Angeles, we flew over Utah, over Salt Lake City. Them snow caps were still there, and it was June think it was early June.
Yes, they were up there till about late June, early July is when the snow finally fully melts from them.
And
I had to say stopped because it still goes in July. I've seen it doing it in freaking August.
Yeah, it does it sometimes. It just
Wherever
depends
there's
upon
mountains,
Utah's.
it seems like there's snow. I mean, it's just the way it is. Colorado, hell, even Arizona,
Colorado.
Flagstaff, Arizona, they get snow. So.
Yeah. But going back to football, all I'm saying to you, Mark, is that I just appreciate the fact that from a core standpoint, you know what I'm saying, there's some very talented guys that the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to deal with for at least the next couple of years. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that's I appreciate because to be able to build on it year after year and stay and remain relevant is the thing that I'm most appreciative of. You know, I hope that this stuff will at some point or another eventually add up to another Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm under no illusion that, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be like that every year and that we need to sign everybody all the time. I just think that sometimes, and this is, I don't mean no dig, but I think that when the news isn't positive about the Dallas Cowboys, you guys don't like when you're not talked about.
When is that?
Like it.
But here's the thing. Okay.
When does that happen?
I want to answer. Let me answer Linda real quick.
No, I said when it's not positive. When it's not positive. You don't like being talked about.
Well, here's the deal.
When is it positive?
Yeah, exactly. I would rather not be shit on all the time. That's my thing. But our owner has put us in that low. I don't even know if it's our owner. It's been that way before Jerry, and it only has been exacerbated since Jerry. Nobody wanted to play on Thanksgiving. Nobody. We put ourselves out there, and now we're ridiculed because we get a Thanksgiving Day game every year. Well, we're the one team who said, you know what? The old school Cowboys like, no, we want to be on. Why? Because we want to be out there. Love us or hate us, we want to be seen. Well, now it's times 10. And now when we're not good, everybody piles on. And we kind of deserve it to a degree. Yeah, it is what it is. That comes with the territory of being a Cowboy fan. If we're losing, listen, Leo, if I do well, Mark knows this. If I do a game recap after a win, I get good views. If I do a recap after a loss, I get 5 to 10 times more views because all the trolls are coming out, and I don't mind because they're only helping me, but that's a fact. People want to see us lose.
But here's the thing and this is to Linda. Shout out to Linda because Linda is one of the most knowledgeable football fans that are out there, even though she is an Eagle fan. But there's been so many times when they've looked at us and said, I can't believe you're letting that guy go. And think about Byron Jones. Right? Yeah. Y'all remember, it wasn't that long ago we let go of Byron Jones. What was Byron Jones' career after he left here?
He went to Miami.
He went to Miami. He's no longer in football. Randy Gregory. We got killed when we let go of Randy Gregory, didn't we? Oh, my God, how could you not re-sign Randy Gregory? And then Dorrance Armstrong gets signed. Now it's like, oh, my God, how can you not let go of Dorrance Armstrong? Sam Williams might be your Dorrance Armstrong this year.
Or better.
He's only gotten 29% of the snaps. Dorrance Armstrong got 54%. And if you translate the numbers, his numbers would be the same as Dorrance Armstrong's. So there are some players there that you look at. When we let go of Dalton Schultz, all of the talking heads, oh, my God, there's the security blanket for Dak Prescott. How stupid are they to let him go? And then you end up getting Jake Ferguson, who's not getting paid, $15 million a year. So we don't know what we don't know about the guys that they believe in that are there in the locker rooms that may step up. And I dare say they're not finished just yet. We had a core group of people on here who still won 12 games. And I don't care how bad we did in the playoffs. Winning 12 games 3 years in a row when literally half the teams that make the playoffs one year don't make it the next, it says that you have some good people on there. Are they not performing when you need them to? No. maybe that's by design or whatever, but you got a core group of guys that have done some winning there, and you don't discount that completely. People talk about the Cowboys like they won 2 games last year.
We're damned if we do, and we're damned if we don't.
Right.
And this whole thing about the Cowboys, this is every year. Every off season, it's the worst off season in the history
my
of the
problem with the Cowboys, Mark, isn't. I'm telling you right now, to the haters, watch out, and to the Cowboy fans, anybody we lost or didn't get in free agency isn't going to hurt us. What's going to hurt us is when we are close enough, like what the Eagles did on their Super Bowl run of a couple years ago. Even though they lost, they still went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Mm.
What did they do? They went out and addressed an issue midseason. I don't think anything Dallas has done up to this point is going to hurt them from getting far in the playoffs. What's going to hurt them is when they suffer an injury and they put a Marquise Bell at safety, at linebacker.
Exactly. And that's to kill us.
They do a horrible job at saying, you know what, we are going to give an asset away. Now, they may do it because we actually have a lot of assets next year. I don't know. I'm going to hold my breath, I guess. But they're not going to do what Eagles did and go out and say, you know what, we're going to go get a Linval Joseph and an Ndamukong Suh at midway through the year. Why? Because our run defense is suspect, and we have a team who could potentially go to the Super Bowl. And what did that do? Yeah. Ndamukong Suh played his ass off, and they got to the Super Bowl.
So you're saying the activity during the season.
That's what's going to hold us back. In my opinion, that's what has held us back. We were crying for a running game last year, right? You think that running game would have helped against Green Bay just a little bit?
Yeah.
Maybe if it was an offensive lineman or if it was Derrick Henry. I don't know. Maybe you just need somebody just to bust through the line.
Or maybe a linebacker.
We had too many tiptoes out there.
The game time, we did that with Jay Ajayi in the middle of the season, and we ended up winning a Super Bowl.
So that's where I have an issue with the Cowboys. That type, I'm not worried about. I'm not paying Dorrance Armstrong $15 million a year to be a 6.5 sacks, 7.5 sacks.
When we lost with them.
I agree with you on that game.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So,
and Hankins is getting older. Now, Mazy, I know he's never going to live to the expectations, but Mazy probably won't be far from what Hankins was at his full weight playing the one technique.
Yep.
Okay.
Awesome.
You talking about because they made him lose all that weight?
That was Dan Quinn because
Dan Quinn.
And this is the problem. This is the problem with Dan Quinn
and we're not.
He wants everybody to be a pass rusher, and so you draft a guy who's got 1 sack in his career in college, who's been a run stopper as a one technique where he's literally grabbed the center and just eat him. Now we want you to lose 40 pounds and rush the passer as a rookie.
It wasn't going to work that way.
So I'm not going to go ahead and kill him for last. Now, if this year him going back to being 340, 350, playing the one technique, and then he doesn't do shit, okay, then we'll kill him. But let me remind you guys, let me play this for all those out there that act like this offseason is different than before. Listen to this.
Yeah.
And I God bless the Cowboys. I know you guys are the flagship. They let you guys say whatever you want to say. For my 3 years there's only one time, Sean, that they said, yeah, don't ask that question. Everything else, it's been fair game.
Yeah.
Not everybody does that. We saw with the Washington Commanders.
Yes.
Their flagship station saying, oh, thank God we can talk about the Commanders now. no longer affiliated with them.
Right.
So, but I looked at really, when I looked at just like a day-by-day timeline, they beat the Eagles on January 8th. They lost 2 out of their 3 games, right? They blamed the officials for basically 2 of the 3 losses, which is terrible. Dak Prescott sits there and endorses fans throwing junk at officials after the San Francisco game. He has to come out and apologize. You've got a PR director who retires. No big deal. 2 weeks later, there's this horrible story about him being accused of voyeurism, which he denied.
Yep.
But the Cowboys have to throw a $2.5 million check at 4 cheerleaders. Dak Prescott has another surgery. The Cowboys trade a wide receiver that they used the number 1 pick on back in 2018 in exchange for a 5th. because the coaching staff doesn't like him, right? Then they give all this money to a guy who tore his ACL on January 2nd. Michael Gallup's not going to be ready for camp, right? Tank Lawrence is their best pass rusher. He comes back, that's a highlight. Jerry Jones gets named in a, Springer-like lawsuit. Randy Gregory, whom the Cowboys stuck by despite the fact that he had done nothing for them for years, gives them the middle finger, right, on a flip. Then they've got to cut Lyle Collins because the coaching staff didn't like him. But they kept their punter.
And I'll add to that we let go Cedric Wilson. We also let go Connor Williams. So we lost 2 starting offensive linemen. We got rid of our best wide receiver, our third best wide receiver, our second best pass rusher, and we signed, wait for it, James Washington and Anthony Barr. And we still ended. Okay, now is that or was this offseason worse than that?
No,
but were you all in?
Okay,
that offseason.
Okay, you know what? You got Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones isms. You can't take what Jerry Jones says for anything. He's talking about circumcising mosquitoes. Okay, Jerry Jones. If you're a smart man and you're in a car accident and you sever your wrist, the wise man, he'll put a tourniquet around that thing, and he'll pick up his phone with the other hand and he'll call 911. The uneducated man, well, he opens up the door. I don't know how he opens up the door with only one hand, but he opens up the door and he just goes running through the wood, blood just spraying all over the place, and he bleeds to death. So which one you want to be, the educated man or the educated fool running around in the woods with the blood wrist? Come on, man.
Didn't my man say he wanted some glory hole too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think Jerry Jones just glory hole. Talk about the last thing he saw on TV. They asked him any question, he just like, glory hole. Going all in.
Come on, man.
Watching the game show before that.
Well, they were cooking him because he had said something about a particular running back during the draft, and I saw his son was like, "Well, don't tell him the board." Damn, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, he said that jokingly. But hold it. So let me ask them this question. Then what is your definition of all in? What moves should the Cowboys have done besides maybe Derrick Henry? What moves should the Cowboys have done this offseason right now to be all
sign
in?
their top 3?
You need to find a wide receiver 2. You definitely need another
have one right
that.
now.
Okay.
We have a wide receiver 2.
Who's your wide receiver 2?
Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks, who's getting extra time working with Dak and seeming to get a repertoire with him. Understand, we're in the second year of the Texas Coast offense, which should actually be better than starting all over like you are with Kellen Moore.
Right.
Right. Wade's in the house. Wade's gonna come in and shit on Dak. Come on in and shit on him, Dak. On him, Wade. Okay. October trade deadline. What if Jerry Jones does start making some moves later on? Because do you really look and say that there were some players that were out there free agency that the Cowboys would win a Super Bowl with if they had made these moves for? Now, I agree. Getting our top 3 signed is probably the most important thing. To get done, but you still. I mean, you have to give him some credit.
I think you need to extend your quarterback. You should have extended your quarterback long before the draft started.
But
what I'm saying?
He's garbage.
Yeah, that situation.
Why would we extend the garbage ass Dak Prescott? Okay,
you need to get your wide receiver 1 paid, because it seems to me that the longer you keep letting time goes by, today's price, yesterday's price ain't today's price. You know what I'm saying? And when you think about, you look at what Devontae got, and then you turn around and AJ got 30-something million. Like,
I hear you,
bro.
But see, that's assuming that the Cowboys would be more Eagle-esque. See, you're looking through it through green-colored glasses. How Howie Roseman built a team. See, Howie Roseman.
Yeah, but you asked me like, how would I do it? And that's the way I would do it. Would be like how Eagles Eagles GM would do it.
But here's the reality, though. I mean, with the exception of the Super Bowl you guys won, where you guys did, congratulations. We still are not far apart year after year from each other. We pretty much split games every year, whether you're going to the Super Bowl or not. So talent-wise, the Cowboys getting talent has been as good as the Eagles getting talent for the most part. You just go about it a different way. You got to look at it and say, a lot of your draft picks haven't panned out the way you would have liked them to, so we have to go out and get ourselves these players. When you think about like Rhaegar getting drafted or Whiteside,
a lot of our draft picks haven't panned out neither, Mark. We've let go of a lot of players.
We have got let go, but we've gotten some major ones, though.
The last 4 years, go look at how many of our draft picks we have let walk.
We have, but we've
Mark,
also had
and Mark, I still got Lane Johnson, who's still a solid, right tackle, who won with the team. We just got rid of Boston Scott, who won with the team. So it's not like we don't have we don't have guys who stay either. It's not like we completely sucked at drafting.
I didn't say you completely sucked, but the Cowboys have had better luck. I mean, we got CeeDee Lamb. How many years did it take you to get Devontae Smith?
Yes, but has CeeDee Lamb played in the Super Bowl yet?
No, but okay.
Devontae has.
And our last year's draft was terrible.
Has
terrible.
CeeDee got paid yet?
Before
Devontae has.
Before I go ahead and kill that draft, let's give him another year because I look
Mark, if we're going to be a draft and development team, that draft has to impact immediately. If you're not going to be a big player in free agency, and you're going to rely heavy on the draft, your draft has to help immediately.
Yes.
But injuries happen, man.
Bro.
It is what it is.
And if DeMarcus Overshown comes out and plays lights out, if Mazy ends up being a capable starter, and you end up getting a little production from your tight end, you look differently. Not everybody comes out.
But that's
the
a
box.
hypothetical.
And then we know the Cowboys ain't going to spend no money. They haven't kicked any money down the road. They're not going to spend any money this year anymore.
They never do. They never spend any money on anybody but their own players. Wade, what are we acting like the Cowboys or like the Eagles every year? They don't.
But everyone's asking why they haven't signed any of our own as far as getting more contracts done. They have not kicked any money down the road. They do that every year.
And
all the other years previously, they kicked money down the road. They have not kicked any money down the road this year.
Right. And
they're going to let everything hit this year.
Yes, you're right. And right now, and here's what you get out of that, Wade, though. Every year we go through, we go ahead and restructure Zeke Elliott. We end up doing Tyron Smith. We end up doing Michael Gallup. We end up doing D-Law. We end up doing Dak. And we end up with this big-ass dead money bill because they don't come through. What if the Cowboys are saying, let's take our lumps this year, get this out of the way, and start over and stop doing this restructuring?
That's why I believe in Jeff Kavanaugh. It's a 2-year rebuild. They're not spending money the next 2 years.
Okay, rebuild. Okay, maybe that's the rebuild on the cap, but you still have enough talent on the team that you will probably still be a playoff team. Rebuilding
not if everyone walks after this year. Everyone's on the last year of the deal. Not if everyone walks.
Cowboys. Here's the thing about the Cowboys. They've let Amari Cooper's contract expire and let him literally go to Washington and get a deal looked at. They let Randy Gregory go and say, well, what you going to get? Well, you know what? You can go ahead and go. We're not going to do that. That's the
chance. And if Dak makes it to free agency, we're done for.
Well, that may be the case. But I have a feeling that Dak Prescott's deal gets done when they said they were going to get it done in training camp.
Yep.
I mean, that's what they said. Just because the talking heads and everybody else feels like they should do this, they should do that. Well, they said that we should sign all these different guys left and right that didn't bust a grape or do shit. Just because that's your idea what they do.
I will say,
doesn't mean
this
it's
draft
what the
this
Cowboys
year
are.
has no impact like the last year's draft. Ooh, that's not good.
Oh, well, if it doesn't,
that's not good.
I agree. You got basically two offensive linemen.
If we have two drafts in a row, where no one makes an impact on this team, we're in trouble.
Well, I can say right now, if you're two offensive line, I'm not going to say the whole draft. I'm going to say if it's the two offensive linemen that don't make an impact, then we're screwed. Flat out.
Oh, yeah.
Flat out. If Cooper Beebe does not step up from day one,
I mean, dude, we can't be a draft and development team. We can't be a draft and development team and have drafts like last year. We can't.
Well, here's what I'm going to say to you, Wade.
100%.
Wade, I'm going to say to you.
And I mean, not only that, we've let go of most of our draft picks the last 5 years go. We've let them walk.
And if
we've let
they're not
tons of our
busting a
draft
grape,
picks go.
If they're not busting a grape, why hold on to them? Why hold on to them?
Okay, so, and I get what Wade is talking about in terms of, is it actually a good thing that you're gonna that you actually need your draft picks to be immediate contributors?
That doesn't even make any sense. We had solid starters. Hold on to your center. Hold on to Connor Williams. You had solid starters.
Then if that's the case, then hold on, Wade. Wade, you're talking out both sides of your neck now, bro. You're talking about both sides of your neck.
No, but the Cowboys don't make any sense.
Hold on. If you're saying keeping Biotish, who always ends up in the quarterback's lap every time you have a good nose tackle, who's an average center at best, then how the hell are you saying get rid of Dak Prescott all the time?
Yeah, and that's the reason.
I'm not saying we need to get rid of Dak. I'm not saying we need to do better. I'm telling you.
They went through and they made a calculation.
I don't think Dak is a good enough quarterback to win a Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Dak is any good.
I'm saying if you get a team around him, he's good enough on there too.
I gotta say something like,
go ahead, Angry. Come on.
Without Dak
throwing
Prescott,
down now, and it's not Leo that we're punching. We're cowboy crime now.
Look. Let me ask y'all something. Have you ever spent the night?
We're a good team with Dak. Hold on.
The deep voice guy wants to talk. Hold on.
We're a good team with Dak. The issue is when we're in the playoffs in year 8, Dak looked like a deer in the headlights in year 8 in the playoffs. No.
Without a running game,
he don't have ice. He doesn't have ice in his veins when it matters.
His number one wide receiver dropping passes right off the bat.
My thing is,
and
nobody has
that game against San Francisco. That game against San Francisco was all Dak. That second game against San Francisco was all Dak.
San Francisco all season long was doing that to everybody. Their defense gave up 17 points per game every single game.
Brian's probably going to agree with me on this. You need your quarterback to elevate when you are in tight games in the playoffs. That game was in reach.
It was.
Dak needed to elevate.
He's not the only one that's ever failed. So you're going to say, let's get rid of that guy and let's get somebody. Let's put Trey Lance in there and make Trey Lance.
How many more failures does Dak have, though? He's in year 9.
And Romo had a lot of failures, too.
My computer's acting up now.
Just saying. That year we had the best record back in 2007. Him and Jason Witten went on vacation during the bye week.
Yeah.
We lost to the Giants.
And we had
not all on
13 Pro Bowlers.
I'm not even saying it's all on Dak, but when you're in tight games in the playoffs, that when your franchise quarterback has to play above everyone else, he has to.
I mean, the franchise quarterback can play above anybody that he wants to. He can elevate anybody that he wants to. But if they are not willing to elevate them damn selves, a quarterback cannot do anything.
And you heard what Micah Parsons. I mean, you heard what
Dak Prescott threw 2 interceptions in that San Francisco 49er playoff game.
And you heard
that was the difference in the game.
He was like, "Oh, we was tired." So it's not all on that.
And they also put up
more calls. You ain't even got to say nothing. Now, Troy, there was players saying they were tired.
Tell them more called the same play. It didn't work. Let's try it again.
Jay, you guys were all there. All I said was, who's had the better 8 years? And then it seemed like ever since I said that, all hell done broke loose.
Can't deny that. They've been to a Super Bowl.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But the thing, and so when you ask, where does this come from? This sense of entitlement, this sense of we're better than you and everything like that. It comes from that. When we look at from the time that Dak has got to Dallas to the time to now, you know what I'm saying? Same thing when you even go back and you add the Romo years. The Romo years weren't as fruitful as people often make them sound like they are.
Yeah, but you know what? Freaking Prescott gets more crap than Romo ever got. Tell me any league that gets more crap than Dak does.
Yes.
I don't
People were calling Romo a choker for years too. I remember it.
Well,
especially after that.
They called Romo a choker his entire career.
Wade, I love you, bro.
And if you can't do that, man, Look what happens.
You got to realize too, Dak cannot play both offense and defense.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm sorry,
You're right.
I don't know.
He can't play defense. But that game against San Francisco, we were in the game. It was close. It was within reach.
It was
Wait a minute, Mark. Are you,
It's not like
Mark
we were
frozen
getting
on you
blown
guys'
out. It's
screen?
not like we were getting
I
blown
had to
out.
restart it.
Is Mark frozen on y'all screen?
Yeah, I restarted.
It does sometimes.
We're good.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, angry Cowboy fan. I'm sorry. I had to reset my computer here, and we're back. You were making a point, and I want to get that point in from angry Cowboy fan.
Oh, what the point about Dak Prescott actually lifting people up, actually elevating people? Because you wouldn't have heard Cedric Wilson. He was a household name in Dallas. What happened to him when he went to Miami? Yeah. Noah Brown, household name in
Alan
Dallas.
Hearns.
What happened when
went Miami?
I mean, even Dalton Schultz, household name, gets a better job in Houston.
What was the guy's name who was here? The receiver who was here with Cole Beasley and Dez Bryant.
Terrence Williams.
Miles Austin.
Williams.
No. Dak Prescott's rookie year, I think.
Terrence
Roy Williams.
No.
Miles Austin.
Yeah, we had.
I know you're talking about.
The
one that got arrested, the one that had the.
Come on, Terrence Williams.
No, everybody gets a voice there.
Terrence Williams, yes.
I still remember that catch in Green Bay. He caught a touchdown and he fell to the back of the fence and the guy had to jump over him. I can't remember his name. His symbol, his touchdown symbol was something like this.
Dez.
What was his name?
Dez Bryant?
No.
Dez threw up the X.
Dez was
it was
something like this. Like,
I'm gonna have to research it now. No,
Bryce
not that
Butler.
one. The
Cole Beasley, Terrence Williams, Alan Hearns, Dez Bryant. I can't think of anybody else.
I forget his name. Look, I'm gonna
I know what you're talking about. Because he got released and Arizona picked him up.
Bryce, number 19.
Because him and Jerry Jones had some words.
What was
all right, I'm about to list them all for you.
He wore number 19
Not
though,
Lucky
right?
Whitehead.
I know you're talking about.
Lucky Whitehead.
He can't. We brought him back for a year and he didn't do nothing.
I'm about to list them all for you. You got Cole Beasley, Chris Brown, Dez Bryant.
We had Keyshawn Johnson in 2005.
Butler.
Bryce Butler.
Yeah, Bryce Butler.
Yeah, Bryce Butler. That's who it would be.
I could not think of him.
But I just think
because him and Jerry Jones had some words when he became a free agent. When he knew that Jerry wasn't going to re-sign him, he had some words, and then Arizona picked him up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that his time in Dallas was the best I've ever seen him play.
Butler. Shout out to Alan Williams.
And wait, I mean, I'll keep it real. Like the two Super Bowls that you're talking about, the San Francisco 49ers, that goes into the whole, it wasn't the physicality of the Dallas Cowboys. It was the mental of the Dallas Cowboys.
There you go.
Yeah.
And this past year was the mental of the Dallas Cowboys. It didn't go according to plan. I'm actually putting a podcast episode out about this, but it didn't go to plan. They didn't win the coin toss. They didn't score first. Green Bay did. So now whenever it goes when it doesn't go all to plan, it goes deer in headlights. Everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you had and you had CD in that first drive drop 2 passes, and you were literally seeing Dak and him like, what the fuck's going on? And he's on the sideline, and Mike McCarthy is like, what the fuck's going on here? And you still did not have a running game. Again, I think you got 56 yards from Tony Pollard, but that's the narrative that we've had, with Zeke. The last 2 playoff games that we lost with Zeke, he was under 30 yards each time. I think he had 2.7 yards a carry. And that goes to not just the running back, but that goes to the offensive line. And to Game Time's point of we have good frontline players. The problem is when we lose people, and I know getting back Tyron Smith, you'll say, you can say, well, you had Tyron Smith, you had all your guys. Tyron Smith, after he gets injured and coming back, is not the same Tyron Smith of before he gets injured. And our running backs, when you're dealing with Zeke Elliott, the last 2 years he was here, he had a PCL injury and he had a hyperextended knee midway through the season. And you saw his numbers in the 4-point range drop to the low 3s. And so clearly you're not the same team limping in the playoffs. That's not to say that everybody else isn't. But when the Cowboys are top heavy with the talent, when you've got your Micah Parsons, who else on our defense did anybody fear on our defense last year going to the playoffs?
Deron Bland.
The secondary. And so what did Green Bay do? We ran the damn ball down your throat because they didn't fear anybody on the defensive front. And Micah Parsons is an incredible pass rusher, but he is not a run stopper.
Yeah.
If you run right at him with the 330-pound guy who's going to drive block him, you're going to be able to cut one way or the other because Mike is going to pick a side and go. I go off the hip, go off the ass of the tackle. You follow my ass. Wherever my ass goes, that's where you're going to go because Mike is going to be on the other side. And that's been the problem. We don't have the physicality or the size to stop the run. And when teams can run the ball and then all of a sudden you have a mistake, because, Dak's going to make mistakes. Everybody's going to make mistakes. CD's going to drop passes. You're going to have running backs that fumble the ball. You're going to have quarterbacks that throw interceptions. Pat Mahomes threw an interception when they were down by 10.
Mahomes don't.
No, Pat Mahomes did when they were down 10-0
I know he
in the
did,
Super
but
Bowl.
he also
Had a
changed
defense
the
to
play
stop
at the end of the game, and Andy Reid called a set of plays, and Mahomes said, "No, we're doing this," and he went down and won the game. But and I hear what Walker is saying. I believe he said my name. I was doing something, but I agree. That game at home against the 49ers, where at the end of the game we were. Yeah. I think that was an issue.
But
again,
you know what? If Randy Gregory doesn't
first
tackle an offensive lineman and give him 15 yards on the first down, maybe we had more time. Maybe we had more time to win it.
There was plays.
Game in San Francisco, Dak threw 2 picks.
19-13 or 19-12, right? Yeah, that one, right? Yeah.
Those picks were on Dak. I don't want to hear nothing about, the receivers were doing this and that. No, Dak forced those picks. Your quarterback can't make those mistakes in those situations.
Okay. How about we do things like coach him up? And
I can agree with that.
do things like give him more time with a better offensive line. How about give him a better running game, and so that way collectively as a team.
I mean, we just got to have everything perfect to be perfect. We got to have everything perfect. He's got to have everything.
I can say that San Francisco and the Eagles both had everything perfect.
I would say
and didn't win the Super Bowl this year or the year before.
So we'll see. I mean, again, I think there's no excuse this year, right? What's the excuse this year, right? What's going to be the excuse? Now's the time, right? We have a first place schedule. I don't really care if we back into the playoffs. I don't care if we win a division. Odds are we may not win a division. You know how that works. The same team don't normally win. It's just the way it works.
Yeah.
I don't care. Let's just get in the playoffs and see what happens.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. This is bullshit. Okay. And Wade, I hope I don't piss you off, but this is bullshit when you look at Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones literally spending $15 million in free agency. And this year, and the Eagles go out and spend $400 million, and the person that you're going to blame every time is the damn quarterback. When teams are going out there and saying, yes, let's make the team perfect.
Hey, Darryl,
let's get every single piece that we can. Let's get the best running back in football. Let's get a second super wide receiver. Let's get the offensive line. And we literally have the owners say, we're going to do more with less. And we look and say, the quarterback is the issue. Come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Your quarterback has had all pros all over the place. You got Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. You want him to have more.
CeeDee Lamb and a rookie. What was he?
CD was his rookie year.
Rookie year.
And what did he have for tight ends? What did he have for an offensive line? Because I can look at San Francisco and say they got Brandon Ayuk. I can look and say they got Debo Samuel. I can say they got George Kittle. I can say they got Christian McCaffrey. Are you saying that
we went 12 and 5 3 years in a row? You don't have scrubs on your team when you go 12 and 5 3 years in a row.
Real talk. That's when the mental aspect comes
true.
into it. Are you mentally tough? And the Cowboys weren't mentally tough last year. We got smacked in the mouth, and I hate to bring up the Green Bay Packers game, but
you can
we
look
got
at
smacked
the San
in the
Francisco
mouth
game,
and just
you can look
cowered
at
down.
the Buffalo game too.
Well, wasn't it like didn't it also come out that like when you guys
you said the word just then.
Soft. Mike Aldana just said it. We were soft.
Those 3 losses, those 3 playoff losses, it wasn't physical. It was mental.
We literally shut down.
And I can easily retract the mental things that went down in them 3 losses. I can, but I don't feel like digging through these receipts.
Please dig into it. Give it to me.
The first San Francisco loss, Randy Gregory, holding call.
Yep.
4th down, late in the game. We would have gotten the ball back. Would have won the game with ease.
And the brother screwed us too.
There was a play in that second 49ers game where they threw the ball to the sideline.
The second game, the wide receivers were running their patterns right.
Dak was kind of garbage at the beginning of the game too. I ain't gonna front that.
He was.
He does have a good point about it.
Yep.
And then the third game, I don't care what nobody said about what I'm about ready to say. The third game. Dan Quinn didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he was on his way out. He knew it.
Yeah, Dan Quinn didn't give a fuck. See, and Mark, I told you this. I think I told you this last week or the week before. Dan Quinn knew. He knew win or loss. He knew Mike McCarthy wasn't going nowhere, and he said, "Fuck this shit. I'm gonna jump on the first train going either Seattle
or wherever."
And he knew if he took the Washington job, that there alone would piss us Dallas Cowboy fans off.
Yo, somebody tell me real quick that that whole video, whenever he was in Washington and he had the Cowboys hoodie on and you had the 2 fans saying, are you going to be our new coach? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to be your new coach.
Yeah.
When was that?
That was when we were playing Washington the last game of the season.
That was week 18?
Wow. He already knew by then he was going to Washington.
Week 18, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, he already knew he was going to Washington.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Dan Quinn,
I didn't know that. That's deep.
Yeah, I think Stephon Gilmore came out and complained about the way he was calling defense last year.
Word.
But I think one game, Stephon Gilmore said Dan Quinn told him to play in the trail position, and he didn't think that was a good thing to do.
And see, that's what we're missing.
I think it was Buffalo. I think it was Buffalo.
When we were talking about Patrick Mahomes and everything, Patrick Mahomes, that last series, he didn't like what Andy Reid was sending in the game, so he changed it up. He went and won the game. When you have things like that, like Stephon Gilmore didn't think that the trailing position was the right position that he should be in. Don't do it.
But see, wait a minute. Is he? But here's the thing. Patrick Mahomes is empowered to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So's Dak.
Stephon Gilmore is not. You see what I'm saying? That's
I think he
that's
is.
a whole nother dynamic.
Who you gonna take out? If you take out Stephon Gilmore and sit him on the bench, who you gonna play?
It's been fired.
But is he? But the thing is the question is he actually empowered to do that? No, because he didn't when he like whatever he disagreed with as far as like that play calling and the variables that went into it. As much as he disagreed with it, he still went with it. He didn't change up anything. He didn't take the initiative to switch up and show that leadership or whatever because he's not empowered to. Patrick Mahomes is empowered. He has the power based off of his relationship with his head coach that if he don't like something, he can actually change it.
Well,
he has that power.
Dak changed the year before.
Let me get
that sounds cryptic, man.
This
that sounds cryptic
right
to me.
Let me get to this one comment from the
think about it. Not all quarterbacks have that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm thinking it's only the quarterbacks who have that. I don't think anybody else can change anything.
Dak can. He's done it.
I'm talking about only the quarterback on every team can change
the plays.
What the coach called. I don't think
what the offense,
the defensive back can change the defense. I don't think the running back can change the offensive play.
Yeah, but the linebacker is calling. He's calling what the defensive front's supposed to be. You don't necessarily see him saying, you know what, I see something else that's changing out there. But the real fan one made a great point here. Without Mahomes, Reed doesn't have any Super Bowls, and this is where you wonder with Bill Belichick without Tom Brady, does Bill Belichick have all those rings without Tom Brady? And see, when we say, well, Pat Mahomes, yeah, but there's only one Pat Mahomes out there. You know, unfortunately, not everybody has that, and you know, you're looking and seeing all the quarterbacks that are out there, and every one of them have some warts. I don't care if you're talking about Josh Allen. He has a propensity that he gets to be reckless with the football throwing it. You could take a Justin Herbert out there and say, you know, he's had some problems in the big games as well, you know, right? It's not like he hasn't had weapons and things out there. You can look at Tua. Tua had all kinds of weapons and things out there, right? Now they go out and get Odell Beckham. So, you know, this quarterback that everybody is looking for, that they say that's just going to overcome everything, overcome the defensive flaws, overcome not having running game, overcome a coach who doesn't seem to motivate players, that literally says, you know, they looked nervous before the game. Well, that's your job to get them fired up to go out there and run through a brick wall. You're expecting one guy to elevate, and I'm not saying that he is the best quarterback in the world, but the problem is you can't just walk out there and say, let me get Pat Mahomes. It doesn't work that way. We got, 6 quarterbacks drafted in the first round? How many of y'all think that any of those guys are Pat Mahomes?
None of them.
Exactly. 6 teams that have invested their future on 6 guys in the first round, and probably maybe 1 or 2 of them are going to be decent quarterbacks. And you're ready to just say, it's okay, it's okay, we'll just get somebody. Washington hasn't been trying to get a quarterback since 1991. They haven't. The Jets haven't been trying to get a quarterback since Joe Namath. The Browns haven't been trying to get one since Bernie Kosar. Seriously,
I don't think they know how to. I don't think they can appreciate quarterbacks. When you think when I think about Washington, I think about look at the debacle with Jason Campbell. That whole mental health issue was a thing. It turned into a thing when it didn't have to. Yeah. Look at look at what they gave up for RG3. You know what I'm saying? And they wouldn't even give him the protections that he needed and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Look at I have to even use my own team. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we spent a lot to go get Carson. Right. You know what I'm saying? Wentz. And, you know, granted, if we didn't have Carson Wentz, we wouldn't have went to the Super Bowl because he was having an MVP type of year that year. And then he got hurt. The 4th place. And then it was Nick Foles who took us the rest of the way. As soon as we went ahead and drafted, you know, Jalen Hurts in the 2nd round, and he showed bitch assness, I was like, okay, that's when it was time for him to go. You know what I'm saying? Because once you show bitch assness, I can't have you on my squad no more.
I mean, just look at what Carson Wentz went through. How can you survive that mentally? You have, like you said, an MVP year. Then you get hurt and watch your team go to the Super Bowl and win.
And then you got to walk past the statue every day.
Am I really that important to this team? And then they draft a quarterback in the 2nd round.
Yes, because remember, Nick Foles went to Chicago.
Yep.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
You got to think of Carson Wentz's mental state at that point. It's
absolutely.
Like,
but you know what? Carson Wentz, he never recovered from that either.
No.
He never recovered from that.
As soon as he started showing bitch assness, it was like, okay, time to go. You got to go. You can't, because that's the type of stuff that'll spread like an infection throughout the rest of the team.
And I remember that night. I remember that night when they drafted Jalen, because your boy, he almost
500.
Philly,
Carson then.
He was discovered that night. I'm not gonna lie to you, Philly 500. He was discovered that night when he snapped.
You know,
he snapped. I remember what he said. He too.
On some realness, like what I want my front office to do is, you know, people keep saying that does Dak Prescott need all these pieces around him?
Everybody does.
Look at Tua Tagovailoa's wide receiving core now.
Oh, he's got
Vegeta, Waddle,
Odell. They just signed Odell too.
3 weapons. Why can't?
Oh man, Oh man, he have nuclear weapons.
Yeah. Why can't our quarterback have this? When we ask for this, it's too much. When we ask for this, he needs to do more with less. Like, why is that?
Because of Cowboys.
But and here's the thing. They had all those.
And I hope you guys never figure it out. I really do.
Well, hold on.
I hope you never figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I like Jerry doing what he does. I love Cat Boy. I love them Joneses, boy. That's right. Y'all go ahead and keep doing that. Yup.
But
all
here's
that.
the thing. Look, as much as Leo, is pounding his chest, they went out, they got A.J. Brown. They had a great offensive line. They went out, they got running backs, right? They had all the pieces, and guess what? They lost. San Francisco, honestly, you look at San Francisco with the best running back, two incredible wide receivers.
49ers got the crap beat out on by the Lions.
One of the best tight ends in football, right there.
Mm-hmm.
And arguably the best left tackle in football. And they lost the Super Bowl. So if you're telling me that those guys, and you look at their defense with their linebackers, where we're literally playing a safety at linebacker, okay? Let's think about that for a second here, okay? When you look at their defensive front, with all of the guys they have, and when we had basically Micah Parsons, it's not the same thing. But even with all that, they did not win. They did not win.
Mental fortitude. It's that mental toughness. Because whenever people started questioning, and I don't want to talk for the Philly fans, but when people started questioning the hierarchy, if Jalen Hurts could get it done, things started to crumble.
Yep.
And then, but here's the thing. What was the organizational's response the following offseason? What did they do? They went out and got more people. They replaced people. We even went ahead and got rid of the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying? We went and brought in some other talent. We signed. We just signed a left tackle just a couple of days ago. You see what I'm saying? To go through Stout University.
Yeah.
Mekhi Beckford. You see what I'm saying? So my thought process is that, okay, I admit, there was a lot of moves that didn't work. But what they did not do was they did not just stand pat. Hell, they even rectified. No, we didn't have Shaq.
You talking about Shaq Leonard?
Yeah,
Leonard. There you go.
Yeah.
Come here, Shaqs.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did nothing.
Look,
but
we've overtalked on my
when
computer.
you guys got him, he was hyped as the second coming.
Yeah,
of linebackers.
But that's the thing though. We got him. It was like here's the thing. Did it work? No. But we addressed that issue. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm saying.
What I'm saying is they're never the same after, whether they come back from suspension, injury, whatever the case may be. That player is really never.
But I don't necessarily subscribe to that if they never played for us before. Like Mark always talks about us getting Saquon Barkley, and then he talks about what Saquon did last year and maybe the year before in New York. And my response is always, we're not looking for Saquon to be what he was for New York. We don't need that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We don't need that. We got enough because we have enough weapons on our team from the skill positions that we don't necessarily have to. Saquon does not have to be our entire offense. Not like how he was in New York.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Saquon doesn't have to carry the whole team. You know what I'm saying? You got AJ, you got Devontae.
And when he doesn't work out, I want you to come back and say, Mark, you were right.
Jalen Hurts reminds me of Russell Wilson when he first came out. I mean, he was good. He was good at getting away from the run, stuff like that. But
I mean, Denver Russell Wilson.
I'm talking about the Seattle Russell Wilson. That's who Hurts reminds me of.
I'm gonna say this because Jalen said something a few weeks ago, and it sort of kind of raised some hairs. But to be honest with you, most people were like, "It's the truth, though," and that was he expressed his dismay with having a new offensive coordinator again.
Yes,
you know what I'm
saying? I
saying?
told you that's going to be a problem. And it's Kellen Moore.
It was one. I'm sorry.
And it's Kellen Moore.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, get ready for Kellen Moore to make your mobile quarterback a pocket quarterback.
Yes, but Kellen Moore is playing. Kellen Moore doesn't have to do with the Philadelphia Eagles what he had to do with the Dallas Cowboys.
Huh?
I say Dak Prescott's numbers look pretty
right?
good.
And it don't he get the same
Kellen
job?
Moore.
Call plays.
No. The way he has to call plays, it's not the same.
That's what I'm saying. He's never
playing
had
with
this before.
Yeah,
So
he's playing with a
all
much
he knows
deeper
is
team, a
drop
much
back
more
quarterback.
talented team. This is Kellen Moore is playing with this is Kellen Moore's most talented squad ever. And that's including all of his years in Dallas. He hasn't had a squad this deep. Not like this. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it's going to be better. All I'm saying is, bruh, this ain't the same team. You know what I'm saying? This is so much more deeper.
Okay, I'm just saying
what he's had.
What you're saying right now is the same thing Chargers fans said last offseason.
But the Chargers fans didn't. But here's the thing.
The Chargers fan was like,
The
Dallas,
San Diego-
Kellen Moore has a real quarterback now.
Wait a minute.
Watch what he does.
No. LA
That's what they
does
were
not
saying.
have. LA did not have the amount of talent.
Okay.
They're not as talented as we are.
Okay, then let's compare apples to apples, because before Kellen Moore got there, the year before he had a 68.2% completion percentage. The year that Kellen Moore, this is Justin Herbert. The year that Kellen Moore is there, he had his worst in 4 years at 65.1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, his touchdown percentage, was his second worst with Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator. His interception percentage was the second highest he had. And this is a guy who, in his fourth year, should be getting better. So across the board, his success rate was the worst of his career. He had a 47.8, a 51.1, a 46.8, and then a 46.2. He regressed under Kellen Moore. He didn't get better with Kellen Moore. He regressed.
And he's still considered elite.
Yeah.
What was their running? Their place in the league in running. What place were they in? Like, were they mid or what?
The Chargers.
They had a good running back. What's his name?
What, Austin Eckler?
Austin Eckler.
Well, I know. I mean, what did they place? Like, in
They
the
were
stats,
middle of the pack.
middle of the pack.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Austin Eckler went to
The Commanders.
Commanders. The Washington Commanders. Yep. So we'll get 2 doses of him this year. You know what I'm saying? But my point is that Justin Herbert and Jalen Hurts are not the same.
Okay.
The LA Chargers are not the same as the Philadelphia Eagles.
I hear
Jalen Hurts.
The San Diego Chargers O-line is
uses
nothing
his
like
legs.
the Philadelphia Eagles O-line.
Yeah, Kellen will have toys to definitely play with. No Diddy over in Philly.
And I'm gonna tell you something else too.
And you want to? Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody, I'm gonna tell you something else too. Everybody talking about Mike McCarthy's job is on the line.
Dracula.
Uncle Leo.
Your coach is on the line.
Your boy's job on the line too, because
let me ask you something. Does he deserve it? Does he deserve to have his job on the line?
And
He'll throw all his other coaches under the bus before himself.
I'm not an Eagles fan,
I'm asking in your opinion.
I'm gonna tell you what
I'm genuinely asking you.
I would say.
Do you think he deserves to have his job on the line?
Hey, that ain't my question to answer.
Shout out to
But I'm asking anyway.
That's not my question to answer.
I'll say this. Here's what you don't have to worry about.
Yes.
If Nick Sirianni does a horrible job and things go completely to shit, I guarantee you will not have to wait long to see him go.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. Philly, they won't hesitate to get rid of a coach.
Like, you're not going to hear us screaming to get rid of him like y'all was doing with Jason Garrett.
Okay.
You're not going to hear us
give y'all
screaming
that.
It's not the same.
Y'all got rid of the coach that won the Super Bowl for y'all.
This is what I think the most.
You see how they got rid of Doug quick.
You got
know what I'm saying? Like you said, he won it. Matter of fact, not only did he win a Super Bowl, but they gave him a statue too.
Well, let me
and they still got rid of him. So all I'm saying to you is that if let's say everything Mark says comes to pass, fine. But guess what? He won't be here.
Okay.
And when everything went to shit last year, and they had their exit interviews, and they talked about all this stuff, that was the first and only time you really heard about the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles getting involved at all. And I said back then, if Jeffrey Lurie has made his presence known, that's not good. That ain't good for him. That ain't good for Nick Sirianni. You better have the right answers. And him and Howie had to have a come to Jesus moment in order for him to survive whatever that meeting was with Jeffrey Lurie.
Yeah.
Like, see that and whatever it was that Howie and Nick Sirianni said, it had to be something good. And I guarantee you, Jeffrey Lurie saying this shit better work, because if it don't, bye-bye. You saw how quickly he got rid of Chips.
Boy, and if that happened, they may put Philly 500 in San Francisco jail.
Yeah. Hey, listen, all I know is that once again,
because you know Philly 500, he live in San Francisco.
Yeah. But here's the thing. All I'm saying to you is that the one thing our fan base does not have to do is we don't have to endure year after year after year after year of failure. We don't by the time our coaches get a messed up nickname like the Clapper, they're gone before that even happens. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Offensive coordinators, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, if this team is not looking like it's supposed to look, guess what? You gone. We're not going to hold you. They're not holding them over because the owner wants a bunch of yes
Leo,
men.
smoke break time. Smoke break. Smoke break.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Leo. I'm with you.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, because we should not have kept Jason Garrett through 3 8-8 seasons where you win the last game of the season, you're in the playoffs. Just shouldn't have. Okay, I agree with you on that one. But you got a team that's 12-5. To me, that says we're close. Let's do everything we can to try and get there, because being 12-5 ain't easy. And that's the difference of, you wonder. Now, again, the Cowboys feel like they do their things the way they know how to do it, and they're the smartest guys in the room. And as far as making money, they're making money hand over fist. So you can look at that and say they're winning. They're winning from that standpoint. Is it what we fans want? No. But I'm sitting here thinking that the Cowboys aren't as bad as everybody makes them out to be. Is it enough to win the Super Bowl? We're going to need to have young guys step up, and we're going to need a draft class from last year to make an impact this year. Is that possible? Yes. Because every year you get somebody who's coming out of the woodwork that nobody expects, like Green Bay did, that all of a sudden plays better than what you think. The NFL is always rotating it over. You remember the end of last year, how everybody thought the Giants were going to be the team? Oh, my God, Daniel Jones finally got it. They're up and coming. They won a playoff game. Here they come. And what happened? They went back to being the Giants of old. So you never know what's going to happen where guys step in and play better than you think. And guys who you think are going to play well don't. And I will say, your quarterback right now, I got some questions on that, and I honestly don't. And I'm not trying to be hating Leo. I don't know that Kellen Moore style. It seems like more times than not that everything we're always told about everybody that's so good around Dak Prescott, but whenever they leave, to Angry Cowboys point, they don't do shit anywhere else. Players, coaches. Kellen Moore, and somebody in here said, oh, well, Justin Herbert was hurt last year. I went by percentages per games played, and you're going to give him a pass coming back injured, and you're going to say Dak Prescott doesn't get a pass who came back early from a broken thumb? This is the hypocrisy bullshit that's out there. Oh, well, Justin Herbert was hurt. Dude, every single play, you have to have your freaking thumb. That's the thing that separates us from freaking apes. And you're not going to
Mark,
say
how
Dak
about this,
Prescott
Mark? How about
not having a thumb?
How about I go down a rabbit
on.
hole with you?
Come on.
How about I go down that rabbit
Go
hole
ahead.
with you?
Go
What if
Jalen Hurts is injured?
Hurts turns out to be a total bust?
Then you got problems.
You know what I'm saying? Historically, what do you think will happen?
Oh, they'll get rid of him, but you're going to take a big dead money hit.
Okay. Just
Damn,
like
Mark,
we did with
you went dark
just like we
on
did
us,
with
didn't you?
Carson.
Mm-hmm.
And
You went dark on us, didn't you?
Huh?
No, I said, damn, Mark went dark
You've
on us.
gone dark.
I went dark again?
Yeah, well, here on here, but
Are
on
you
the
sure?
on the
The
yeah,
stream,
you're
he's good. Yeah.
No, it's showing here on mine.
Nah, bro, like on
Nah,
for
you got
us,
nothing,
there's
man.
no camera. Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
nothing.
you dark. You don't went dark on us.
On the
You're
Zoom.
eating, but you're
Yeah.
pounding the food though. We could hear that.
I'm looking at the feed and I
Yeah,
see
we're
myself
chomping.
on the feed.
Yeah, on the Zoom you're dark, but on the
YouTube
YouTube
Zoom.
stream.
Oh,
My
okay.
man got
Well,
sticky fingers.
Well, that's all right. You don't need to see me.
Yeah, at least it's working.
Yeah, real quick though, but Mark and Game Time Brian, appreciate y'all going up to Detroit and having that whole draft coverage for us. And
Thank
everything.
you. I appreciate that, man. It was fun. It was a blast.
Oh man.
Facts. Yeah, y'all did. I can't say it enough. Y'all did a damn good job.
Phil was struggling, man. Phil was struggling. He had my hat. He had my glove. I'm like, dude, I'm sitting there just
he's from Florida.
had my hoodie up. But it was a really good experience. This is 2 years in a row we went to the draft, and I thought under the circumstances, I was trying the best. Once it got dark, it was tough seeing the names, but everybody in the chat kind of let me know who was on the board if I couldn't figure it out at that point. But I think we did a good job, Mark. We should be. I think people enjoyed it.
Are you going to do next year? Are you guys going to do next year?
He says
I
he's
don't
not
think so.
going to, but you watch. We'll be there.
Definitely.
Fucking Green Bay, I don't know.
Oh, Green Bay.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. You said Green Bay. Yeah.
I don't know about that. Maybe the following year, Pittsburgh, I could see. It's only a 5-hour drive. Green Bay,
I'm
We
going.
flying
I
to
ain't
Green Bay,
driving.
man.
Yeah.
We're flying to Green Bay. Okay,
What?
I
Now
tell
you
you,
want to go
man.
to Green Bay?
bro. We have such a good time, man. You
Yeah, well,
are you telling me the trips that
Y'all better get a camper for that if you go.
That's what I would say is get an RV.
You know what? That's not a bad idea, though, man.
And
That's
as long as we
actually
don't
not-
overload it like we did going to Texas.
Okay,
you know
we're
what
not
my,
going to rebuild the house this time, okay?
All right.
You know, I was actually talking to my brother, and he was like, "You know what would be extremely dope is if all you guys, all the content creators, just met somewhere and just had this huge video and just chopped it up with each and every one of y'all."
That would be fun.
Oh, I'd be fun.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I'll
that
tell
would
you
be
what.
fun.
We name a place and a time. Yeah.
Well, tell you what,
are you guys are you guys coming up this way when you play Philly in Philly?
No.
You know,
Mark
I'm
won't do
debating.
that.
Leo, I can't.
If I
my
go up there, I'm
brother-in-law
gonna wear
stays in
bulletproof
Philly,
vest.
so I'm debating.
Leo. All right, Leo. Let's have a real conversation right here, right now.
Understood.
Okay? I'm 58 years old, and I've already started putting together my bucket list. The last thing on my bucket list is going to a game in Philadelphia. Okay? And the reason it's at the end of my list is because I have so many Eagle fans that literally hate me that it may be the last thing I'm able to do.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? See,
You know what? That's real facts, and I actually I co-sign that, so I get it, and you're right. How about this? I'd be willing to fly into Dallas when we come play.
Dallas is, come on, Leo.
easy.
You know the difference. Dallas
easy,
is like,
man.
they could care less who the hell's in their stadium.
Yep.
There are Philly fans
But if
who
Philly's
don't want to
different.
go to Philly
Now,
games.
Again, Mark will be fine. I've been
Here's
in
the
many a
thing.
game there. He'll be fine.
Leo,
Just-
Philly.
Leo, you're a big shot.
I would tell you like game time. You know what I'm saying? I've already said if I invite Mark or if I invite you guys into something, I'm not going to let nothing happen.
If you can guarantee
So,
that,
if
okay?
you guys if you came up to Philly, you know what I'm saying? You know, I again I have a really good group of folks who actually tailgate.
Mark can't do anything small, Leo. That's the problem. He gonna want to tailgate he's gonna want to stir it up. Then you're asking for some problems.
Well, see, that's the thing. I got some people. I got.
It'd be a damn thing if Leo got his ass kicked by Philadelphia fans. Yeah. You brought this motherfucker up here.
I would definitely. What I would do is I would definitely make sure that I cleared the way first.
That would be nice.
And get everybody on board with the fact that we're gonna be hosting some Cowboy fans. You know what I'm saying? And
especially when we're probably walking into a hornet's nest.
You will be.
How it works, though. I mean, you guys normally win at home, and it's probably not going to be ugly. But that's all part of the fun. But just know, Mark, there will be some hate spewed our way.
Yeah.
You can lose by 40, or we can win by 40. They're going to say Dallas sucks. Yeah. So that's just how it works, man.
Yeah.
I was told not to wear my
game last year.
I was told not to wear my jerseys or anything if I went to a game.
That is true.
Listen, man.
I heard the same thing about Oakland.
I went to a zoo. I went to the zoo in Philadelphia with a Cowboys shirt on.
Angry. I remember leaving the stadium. We're going way back. I want to say it was 93. 93. I want to say I was leaving that Emmitt Smith. Here, let me change my camera here. It's that exact jersey. Let's see here. That Emmitt Smith jersey I wore. Oh, I can't change it.
I was going to say, now you went dark, Brian.
Yeah, well, it's because I got OBS up. That's why. Let's see here. Let me see here. Let me go back. Excuse me. Anyway.
That was Halloween night, 93.
Yeah. I went with a bunch of Eagle fans, but it was in a driving rain, and that was the night that Emmitt ran for 200 yards.
237 yards.
Yeah. So by the end of the night, we were right there in the end zone, and Emmitt was running to us. It was a pouring rain. I was glowing, but there was nobody left in the stadium at that point, so it was okay. I've been there. I was at the Michael Irvin game where they were, quote unquote, booing, which they weren't. They were booing Dion doing his dance over Michael.
Stepping dance.
Yeah. So I've been on both sides. I was at the 11 sack game where Troy Aikman he's still part of the veteran state of I've never seen a guy get beat up more than Troy. That's why I have so much respect for Troy. So, but again, I've been there in the good times and the bad times. I've gotten into it a little bit, but if you shut your mouth, you go sit in your seat, it's okay. Believe it or not, there's a decent amount of Cowboys fans there.
I have been to the link now.
Just know,
I want you to know.
You're going to get here, and you're going to hear something.
I believe it was 2013. Me and Joe Boo were there wearing Cowboys gear, and it was during training camp. And we literally walked all the way down to the bottom corner there to see Michael Vick and stuff. And Joe Boo had his middle finger up. I think Eagle fans
That's Emmitt jersey.
I think the Eagle fans were shocked, and that's why I didn't get my ass kicked. That, and they're wondering how come this Cowboy fan has a freaking voodoo doll, and maybe he's crazy and packing. I don't know. But I have been there once. But Leo, if you can figure out a way to keep me safe, I'll go.
Oh, that's it.
He'll do it, Mark. Leo's a man of his word.
And maybe what I'll do is
it's going to be like $250 a ticket.
I'll talk to Dan Saleo. I'll talk to Dan Saleo too and see if we can get something there going.
Oh, there you go. Well, Dan,
why don't you guys
he's in
join
Tampa,
up
isn't he?
and do a...
Well, no, but I mean, he's got people there, okay? So
yeah,
maybe he can put out the word.
Leo's got more people
that
than
Mark
Dan.
Holmes is going to be there and leave him alone, okay? He gets safe passage, okay?
You know what, though? What? I'll say this. I can pretty much guarantee that if the word gets out that you're actually going to be in the building,
they'll love
you're going to have
a lot of
rack of people trying to get there.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to get
and
there
it's
to
not
kill
going
me.
to be. And here's the thing. You'll get the typical, Dallas sucks, da 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 da. But for the most part, I am quite sure that you'll probably you'll have a really.
Do you know who has the hard time there, Mark? It's the loudmouth Dallas fans who don't. Who would go there, and if it starts turning, they're standing you up, antagonizing. If you shut up, odds are. Let's just be honest. Odds are Dallas ain't going to win in Philly. Not that I'm not going to root for it, but odds are that's probably what's going to happen. Eagles probably win that game.
I was going to guess Santa Claus. I mean, after all, they threw snowballs at him.
Again, he was drunk and his beard.
Philly fans booed Destiny's Child.
He was drunk and his beard was black.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
He was a dirtball drunk, and they deserved to be booed and thrown.
It doesn't matter. It's still Santa Claus.
No, this guy wasn't Santa. He was like bad Santa.
Actually, there was a Santa Claus that was full white beard. I don't know if he was drunk or anything.
No.
No, he was just. It was because he was in the same colors as the Redskins. Well, the Washington.
He was drunk and his beard was black. Meaning
that's why they booed
he was a
Destiny's Child
dirty
at
Santa.
the 76ers game. In the
You don't
finals, Destiny's Child had on.
Scared the hell out of the kids, that guy.
All right. You guys know we've been doing this for 2 hours.
Yeah, all right. I got
2 hours. Are you serious?
Holy cow. We're
making up for my shit show.
It sounds like we've been getting high.
No.
Hey, we've been doing this for a long time now.
No,
We're just making up for my shitty stream.
My computer kept flashing and saying, "Look, it's overtime here. I'm tired of listening to you."
All right,
I think it's Mark's bedtime.
No, actually, I got some more work to do on the honey-do list. I've got actually all these pieces for these shutters out here. I got to put another coat of paint on it, and then I've got to figure out.
So the longer we
you know
keep
what
you on, the
you know
more
what
we
the
get you.
hardest thing.
Yeah, you're welcome, Mark.
Yeah.
You know what?
Before we go, Mark, I just want to. I don't know if you saw it earlier, but I just want to.
You got your computer back.
Myself send out my thoughts and prayers to Gina Dallas Deba. She did say she lost her dad earlier.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I'm sorry about
condolences.
I think this Thursday is the funeral.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
my condolences.
It was about a month ago that he passed.
Yeah, exactly.
She ended up texting me, and it was the middle of the night.
She just typed in peace outro. I wanted to get that in before she got out. Before she actually
Amen on that one.
Hopefully we got it.
All right, and Mark, I want to get with you too. Just whenever you on your way through Vermont and everything, I want to
email me cowboysmark94@gmail.
Now say that again.
Cowboysmark94@gmail.
Cowboys94mark@gmail. All right.
As usual, man. It's a pleasure.
Mark, what you gonna do Thursday? No schedule coming out Thursday.
Yeah, I'll live stream.
Is that when they're doing it? Is Thursday?
Yeah, I'll be live.
Yep, late at night.
So, Mark, are you going to hold a live stream where all of us can get on and talk about that?
Sure, we can do that. I can do.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, to talk about to digest our individuals.
How we're gonna destroy Philadelphia both times.
Yeah, try and figure out.
Damn, Troy! I was like. Damn, Troy, we was having such a good, what I'm saying?
Really, you gotta get his parting.
Game time, you heard him? Did you hear him?
I heard him.
All
He's
right,
flexing.
good people. We're getting
all the way out
now.
in Utah.
I appreciate you guys being here at Micah Parsons' Wild World of Sports.
Future Philadelphia Eagles, Michael Parsons.
Here we go.
You know what I'm saying? You guys know he wants to be an Eagle.
Y'all Philadelphia Eagles, you Philly 500, boy, y'all are dreaming real hard for Michael Parsons.
Come on now. You know he wants to be an Eagles fan. I mean, an Eagles fan.
He's an Eagles fan, probably.
I mean, he wants to play for the Eagles. I mean, he said it himself. He's utterly disgusted.
Michael Parsons, if he wanted to play for the Eagles, he could have said that.
No,
his last game of college, he said he wanted to be a Cowboy. During the draft, he said he wanted to be a Cowboy.
He was disgusted about the draft.
Why would he say Cowboys if he wanted to be Eagles?
Because he was angry that the Philadelphia Eagles weren't going to take him with their first pick. That was.
But he knew that 2 years ago, with 2 years previously when he played his last game.
Yeah,
he knew that.